get straight into it, and right now we have with us veteran filmmaker and entertainment executive Peace Anyam Osigwe, who is founder of African Movie Academy Awards and president, Association of Movie Producers. She's here to discuss, amongst many other things, the annual AMAA Awards, which is coming up next Sunday here in Lagos. Welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning, Madam Peace. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
All right, let's start this way. Earlier when, we spoke about the fact that you were coming, part of the things that we said you will help us give clarity to is the raging controversy over why Nigeria apparently is unable to submit a film to the Oscar Awards this year. So many things have been said, so many things have been done. And I think about last night, there was also a video which is now on YouTube about what actually went down with the Nigerian Oscars selecting committee, in which majority voted that there will be no Nigerian film. What is going on? I'm aware that AMP, which you lead, made an intervention to the Oscars to say that this cannot be right when the committee voted earlier in March. And the Oscar generously agreed that there should be a revote so that we could have at least one film. We know that there is election over The King's Horseman by B. Bandele, whom we lost a few weeks ago. Akunle Afolayan, Anikulapo is there, and Femi Adebayo, Ageshinkole. 3 of the 4 films that were submitted, but 3 are shortlisted. Why are we unable to send a film to the Oscars? Why is it so controversial? Why the bad blood from what we have seen from the video?
Well, as we as AMP intervened based on the fact that we had petitions from our members that said that they had submitted films and nobody was doing anything about it. So we wrote to the Oscars officially. But before doing that, we had constituted a committee, had our lawyers review the official selection rules to make sure that what the selection committee did was correct. And the interpretation of the committee is that it's a selection committee. It's not the jury. And therefore, what they're supposed to do is actually look at the films that have been submitted and see if they meet the submission criteria of the Oscars for the foreign language film.
That's right.
Therefore, since we had some films that met the Q&Cs for this, then one of those 3 films should have been submitted. There shouldn't have been a non-eligibility clause that should have been voted for. However, there seems to be a lack, with due respect to a lot of people on that committee, because I've had a lot of interaction. I've actually spoken to some gents of people in the Oscars, being the fact that, for my many years in the industry, both locally and internationally, we do have a network that we can reach out to. Yeah. And there is an international disappointment that this particular year we are not submitting, because we actually do have films that have a chance. And maybe the first and only film that Nigeria has actually submitted, I actually had to work hard to get and break down the problems that they had with Census Board, the Milkmaid.
That's right.
We went to Abuja. Yeah, we went to Abuja over 20 times, met with everybody to get that film to have a censorship. And then that has been the only film Nigeria has actually submitted.
In 9 years of the committee.
Yes. And the thing is, the committee, according to the Oscars, is a selection committee.
That's right.
It's not a jury. The jury's decision goes when they now get the films, and then they watch all their films. And so it's like a pre-selection. What I don't understand is what has happened in that team, because they said that there was no qualifying film, which is not true. You had 3 films that actually qualified to go in for Nigeria. As a producer and leading the producers for Nigeria and seeing the video last night, I was gobsmacked, actually. Let me put it no other way, and disappointed and embarrassed, to put it mildly. It feels like there was something beyond the normal. But I know that the National Secretary of the Association of Movie Producers has already handled this. We put out a protest letter to say that we feel it's unfair.
Is that Babagba?
Yes,
okay.
we had a chat, and we feel it's unfair that the Nigerian producers who work so hard with no support whatsoever, strive to get certain films out there, and then they're frustrated to say that it won't even go. I'm probably privileged to have seen some of the other films being submitted by other African countries to the Oscars, based on the other hat I wear as the founder of AMAA. I'm not in the jury, but I have seen some of these qualities as well. And with all humility, I will say that our films that had been submitted this year could have done well. And emotional intelligence comes into this. Politics is film, film is politics. These two films, we had two films that had Netflix backing.
Yeah.
We don't have a government that supports the lobbying aspect. There would have been a chance that we would have had Netflix support the lobbying of any of these films had they been selected. That's another thing. There's an emotional intelligence. We lost B. And it's very difficult for someone who knows what goes on in the process of the international film community that it is about lobbying, even for us to get films into Berlinale, the Oscars, and there are many other ways to go into the Oscars. But I am going to squarely put this problem down to the Nigerian Film Corporation as the main reason why we're in the mix we're in right now. Because all the other countries, their selection committee is worked in with their film commissions. So it's not something that somebody is totally autocratic on. Do you understand? But the Oscars gave us some respect as the Association of Movie Producers and did ask for a consideration and extended the time till the 21st of October. And then we saw the video.
Now, you have seen this video. You seem very disappointed. I haven't had a chance to watch that video. I'd like to know if there was a point that they were able to explain how they arrived at that no eligibility clause. And is there anything that the Nigerian Film Corporation can do at this point to review that committee that has been set up that has absolutely failed the Nigerian film industry at this point?
Well, I think the minister has at this point taken it up. We have given the minister a guideline as to what to do. It's totally unacceptable. The video shows that members of the committee were being muted whilst they were trying to say things on this. Now, for me, there's so many different reasons that I actually feel there was a level of disrespect that shouldn't have happened. You had people I consider major respected producers on that committee: Mahmoud Ali Balogun, Mildred Okwo, Moses Baba Tokbe, Ego Boyo. Leadership is about listening. There's nothing about taking decisions or just saying, I am asking you a question, yes or no. Hello, you ain't employing me.
I mean, you heard the Association of Movie Producers, for example. A lot of people will think, if they watch that video and it's on YouTube, will think that is that the way that the leadership of guilds, associations, or committees in the film industry speak to their members, because you will be gobsmacked, really, Oji, if you
I hope we'll have a chance to play a clip of that.
I don't think that I am the president of the Association of Movie Producers, but I'm also the head of the Federation of Registered Guilds in Nigeria, and we don't talk to each other like that. We don't even talk to members like that. Even the members you feel are not getting it, you actually are patient to keep explaining to them. My members call me even on a Sunday morning as early as 6 a.m. if they have a film that needs to be censored. Right now, we have an ongoing battle with censorship because he raised our bills by 150%. But looking at the Oscar committee, I feel that the Nigerian Film Corporation should do the needful, and the minister should do the needful, and let's have a proper committee. I would like to see what the members of that committee do. There's so many allegations that have come out, and those are the things that we've tried to correct at the Oscars. We have said that we do not feel that there was any inducement. I will not have anybody try to disrespect Moa Budus as a person. She is one of the foremost producers. To write that she induces anybody is totally unacceptable to me and the Association of Movie Producers. Therefore, we did put a protest in on that because, you see, when you write these things in an international environment, it has a backfiring effect on the Nigerian producer.
I wonder how the Academy will be looking at us. And
it diminishes our value as a country and as filmmakers in Nollywood. So first of all, I have to protect the producers and their image and the image of Nigerian producers internationally. And therefore, my mandate will mean to do whatever I need to do. I will be in LA after the AMAs because there's the American film market. I intend to make sure that we have a discussion with them and make sure that they do realize that Nigerian producers we do not have those kind of problems. You can't, if somebody picks up the phone and says, hey, my film is in there, that's normal. But I don't think, with all due respect, that any of those people, and I really do think that there was a chance that we could have had a submission this year. And I do think that it's not, since the rules of the Oscars, everybody can interpret, but I'll tell you a joke I said somewhere recently. I said, these Oscar rules have shown me really that English is not Nigeria's first language. Because everybody has a different interpretation. It's a selection committee.
Again, I just wanted to find out, sorry, Abby, how they arrived at that no eligibility clause.
Apparently,
what is that clause?
The no eligibility clause actually comes in when films don't meet QC, they don't meet the language issue because it's supposed to be, I think, 50 or 70% on the language side. But these films, at least the 3 films met basic QC. They met the language, this thing. And then you have people saying, but it wasn't done well enough. The script wasn't done well enough. That isn't, apparently, based on the information reaching us from the Oscars and interpretation of that particular rules, unless maybe I didn't go to school. I don't know. Maybe I didn't understand the rules. I want to make excuses for myself as well because I don't know.
It's American English. You speak Quincy.
Yeah, thank you. I don't understand what a selection committee does because I'll use the African Movie Academy Awards. It can't be my pre-selectors deciding what goes to the college and then what goes to the Academy of Jurors. It's a process. This is a process that the Oscars has. Nigeria will send a selection, one film, to a particular thing. And the non-eligibility should not have applied this year from what we have been told and the interpretation. As AMP, we actually went and had 3 different law firms read these rules, read it again, just in case, like I said, I didn't go to school, or maybe I don't understand, or, I have been accused that initially we didn't want to get involved. And that was because as Association of Movie, as Peace Anyam Osigwe, I run the African Movie Academy Awards. But I wear the hat of AMP. So I said, okay, Baba, let's do this properly. I called the vice president. We put up a committee. We got law firms to look at the rules as published by the Oscars. We made some calls to AMPAs so that we weren't just speaking out of the blue. And we realized that this is a selection committee. Then we started hearing that Peace doesn't want to do it because it's 3 Yoruba films. And I was laughing. I went to see King of Thieves twice in the cinema. I actually loved that film. It's a film that I think the script for one of the films in Nigeria this year that I think the script was awesome was that particular film. So I didn't understand why I was falsely being accused that I was supporting the chairperson of the Oscar committee by not agreeing to rights to the Oscars in petition. But at that time, we were still investigating to make sure, as AMP, we weren't jumping the gun. But we got a response from the Oscars, giving Nigeria an extension, which led to what you guys, well, I don't know if you've seen the video, but anybody that saw that video should be disappointed in what happened. But I can assure the producers in Nigeria that are working so hard to make films that we're not going to let this by. That I will make sure that when you do submit, it's through the selection committee.
Well,
the chances
we've missed this year already.
Today is the 23rd.
Yes. Let's put it this way. We might have missed this year, but let's wait till Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to come in there and talk about, we've spoken about the producers quite a bit, but I'm very concerned. Unfortunately, this is quite disheartening for them. I would imagine. What is the industry going to do to boost their morale and confidence? It takes a lot of time, effort, capital, not even to mention so many other things. It must just be such a low to experience this. How is the industry going to mitigate this kind of situation from a repeat?
Well, that's why I said that we're going to make sure that something does happen. We took the decision yesterday at an emergency meeting early this morning. Before, actually, on my way here, we had an emergency Association of Movie Producers meeting. A letter has gone out this morning again to talk about the fact that we feel that it's unfair to the producers. And you can't have spent the time, the effort, and somebody's whims is what's happening here. That's not fair. And so that's why I said I'm going to give it till Tuesday. But moving forward, I am reaching out to those producers who have been affected by this and trying to make them realize that we're there. We're not sitting back. We're going to see if there's anything we can do.
To rescue this situation?
Yes, we have to try, you know. And luckily, and with all humility, I think I do have the network to be able to try and see what I can do. Those phone calls are being made. Those friends are being reached out into in the international community. We're going to call in all the favors we can. And basically, I'm going to call the vice chairman and say to him, what film had the highest votes? And then we're going to talk to those people that we have access to see what we can do for Nigeria. Because at this stage, I have to protect the interests of the Nigerian producers. And yes, this is putting me head on with the head of the Oscar committee, but at the same time, it's about protecting the interest of my producers first and foremost. This is a difficult terrain to work in, extremely difficult terrain.
Absolutely.
There's hardly any stuff that is cheap for us to do, and you all know how the dollar has been going. So when you look at something like Unless Yoba and I can call it and Anikulapo, and you look at the cost. Yes, and we can all sit down and start saying this, but we're talking about Africa now. And the international community does know what it is. And there's one thing I've always told people, audiences are peculiar. What the juries look for are certainly not what we are all looking for.
All right, Madam, please, before we go to the AMAs, let me just put in one more on this Oscar thing. I saw the video, you know, and I saw that what they were basically voting for, you know, at the direction of the chairperson of the committee was to, I think that's the video, you know, now being played. That's Chinese, isn't it?
Yes, it
is. Was that they needed to vote to protect the integrity of the committee, which, if you interpret it very well, it simply means that we're voting to tell the Oscars that we cannot change our flawed decision of September 3rd. My question to you, Madam Peace, is are you able to trace the root cause of all these to the manner in which the committee was set up? Because all we are hearing is that there is a franchise and that only one person, who is the chairperson of the committee, who, by the way, has only made one film, as we have been told,
and not in Nigeria.
Sorry?
And she's a Nigerian producer, but who has not made a film
in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, which, if you have made a film in Nigeria, you might understand. I mean, I've just come off sets. I've just done a film. I know the struggle it is and the cost implication. So, the franchise, yes.
Does she hold that franchise in perpetuity?
The Minister for Culture and Tourism and the head of the NFC and the Federation of Guilds are having a meeting. And this is one of the things we're going to have to explain. And we're going to keep explaining it to the minister till he understands that this can't go on. Do you understand?
It needs to, Oji, because if you
the question also is that...
Let me quickly say this so that it gives you a context because of the ministerial and go to it. In France, as big as France is, one of the top 10 filmmaking nations of the world, it is the Minister of Culture in France that had to step in, you know, to when the selecting committee for France had this kind of a problem a few years ago. You know, the minister says no. The interest of our country is at stake.
That is the first point. So the minister has to do this. Otherwise, you will be hitting a roadblock, correct? Would you make any headway if you're not part of that committee?
No, well, the thing is, the minister has to realize that at this stage he has to get involved to put the committee in the right stead. But I think the Oscars have realized that Nigeria does have strong guild system right now. Maybe before they didn't realize that we had a strong guild system, and maybe they didn't understand that we do have structures, you know, because sometimes people like to think that we don't have structures, but I think that that's shown now that we have structures. And like I said, we have reached out. We are calling in favors. We are trying to see a way, because, you know, you don't demystify certain strengths you have. A Mildred Oko, an Ego Boyo, a Mahmoud Ali Balogun, you can't demystify those people by trying to cheapen their efforts to try to make sure that Nigeria has put in a film this year, and in a year that we do have a chance. You know, we have 3 qualifying films. It's a selection committee. Let's get it straight. I will bring that into the AMAA. My jury will tell you immediately that if things coming from the college, if the pre-selectors can't tell the jury this is the nomination, they can only send a selection of films to the college and they look at it.
For the consideration of the jury.
That's it.
Well, for our viewers, can we take a quick listen to that video really quickly?
Omotola, Yibo, Megotawa, any other person. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Please, can Meg and Yibo put their hands to the screen, show that they're raising their hands, please. Yibo, can you put your hands to the screen, showing that you're raising your hands, since you're not? Yibo, put your hand. Okay, right. 1. So we have Stephanie Okereke, Izojuku, Bruce Ayonote, John Njamas, DJT, Omotola, Yibo, and Megotawa, saying that they want to uphold the rules and regulation of the NYC, protecting the vote of September 3rd. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then including me, 9. How many? What's the votes? What is the vote? Daniel, what is it? 9.
That do not want to uphold the rules.
No. What is the count? What is the count?
Okay. 6 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right.
7, 9.
Go ahead.
6 against.
Now, what the Oscars asked for is a revote to submit one of the films, not to uphold the rules of your local Oscar.
Which is not a film.
Which is
just
not
like
a film.
non-eligibility, it's not a film that you have to vote for.
Exactly. And, you know, the no submission for this year, and the letter written to Mo Abudu by the Nigerian Oscar Committee is a no-no. The letter was leaked. It's been a weird time, and this has just put Nigerian producers in a very bad light internationally, because I keep getting the emails. I actually got this video sent to me from someone in the US this morning.
Wow.
I was like, okay. And I was like, early this morning, so I was wondering what it was about. And then I couldn't take more than 3 minutes of it. And then I kept getting it from different people. And I was like, okay. So early this morning, Baba and Queen Blessing and I had a quick chat. And we said, you know what? We need to step in here.
There's no committee that recommends music to the Grammys.
Yeah.
We have won the Grammy. Why is the Oscar so difficult?
Well, we trust that you are going to be able to handle this, and I hope, I really look forward to a positive solution towards this end with all these amazing movies that you've just mentioned. But also, I wanted to congratulate you on the AMAA Awards. You've done it for how many years now?
18
years, and you have really done well by putting the indigenous films to the global stage, which is obviously also what the Oscars is doing. Now, the AMAA Awards is next Sunday.
Yes, it is.
What are we expecting? What should we be looking forward to?
Oh, gosh. When someone said to me, AMAA is 18, I said, yes. Yes, it's an adult.
It's an adult.
AMAA can now vote.
You can now vote. Yes, it's an adult. Well, this year has been interesting. We had over 380 films come in. And it's funny, almost all our nominees are flying in. So it's been a busy week for us. Everybody's coming in. And, people have accused us of being very difficult in our jury system. Again, just like, we are a conservative reward system in the terms of technicality, professionalism, and the authentic African stories and the diaspora stories. So I think that I always say to people that AMAA is not about the popular films, but is about what is known as a very good film. So yes, this year we've gone again. I have a COO show producing who has for the last couple of years said, we're going to make AMAA niche and very exclusive. So he's using a venue, Jewel by Ada in Lekki. And it's going to be an interesting event this year. The jury have all started arriving, so that is also good. COVID year, we've been doing a lot of Zoom and everything. So it's going to be nice to reconnect with all the jury members coming in from all over the world. And this year we have a 3-day event, actually. Okay. We have workshop day, which is, we actually start on the 25th. This year we trained a lot of the African Film Academy trains people. So that's the mother body of AMAA's. And we've trained over 790 students across Lagos this year for the Lagos state government. So we graduate those students on the 25th. And then we have the workshop, and we're going to have a workshop on the 28th where we are talking about emerging talents, how to get into a job, not just all that. And we have the diaspora discussion going on. So we have a lot of diaspora filmmakers coming in, and how do we collaborate to make sure that we keep telling the African stories together and build an ecosystem that will work. And that's going to go on the 28th. And then a lot of our nominees keep on saying, we want to see the fashion. So we're having a mini fashion show for
nice.
Nominees.
That's genius. That's a territory.
Yeah. Because our nominees last year was like, we don't get to see clothes, we want to buy clothes. So this year we've got some designers showcasing so that the nominees have a chance to make some purchases and enjoy Lagos. And then on the AMAA itself, that night's gonna be, I think I'm gonna say this year, if you miss it, don't call me. Because we have King we have King Sunny Ade at AMAA this year.
Wow.
Really? Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Awesome.
On the bandstand.
Yes.
It's 76 now.
Yeah, 70? But we're giving you an experience with the AMAAs this year. It's kind of making it look like it's Africa, but also we want to give you an experience of Lagos, just because everybody comes to Lagos to have a little bit of fun. So
Yeah.
we're going to give you that experience.
It's a cool for sure, isn't it?
It is a cool for sure this year. It is. We're going to have some fun. And then, guess who is coming on the bandstand? P-Square.
Oh no!
They're back. Your boys.
My boys. Yes, it's a reunion for
A
me.
lot to
They've been
look forward
back.
to then.
No, what you mean by that is, we're back.
When I say they're back to the
back
AMAA.
Yeah, it's a family affair, you know, and there's just so much going on this year. We've got a really nice feel. So if you come to the AMAA, right from the red carpet, you're going to have an interesting experience. It's all about experiences, and what we're trying to do is showcase the whole film community, have conversations, build. And the fact that Lagos finally is going to have a film village, so we have invited some guests from the States to come and look at what Lagos is trying to do. So I have some friends coming in from LA and some coming in from Atlanta to just look at what we can do with the film village and see what we can start to look at that area and start to look at what Africa can do. We hope to be able to lobby to get concessions again from the federal government on equipment. So there are things that we want to try and have those discussions at the AMAs this year. But for me personally, I'm looking forward to seeing most of my jury because we're like a little family and they're all coming in. So there'll be lots of wine around the jury and us breaking bread together. As in, lots of wine to break bread together after 2 years of not seeing each other physically.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And the governor is the host, isn't it?
Yes,
Governor
he
of Lagos
has.
State.
Yes,
Will he be there?
Yes, he will definitely be there. And you know, one of the things that I would say about the governor of Lagos State is the training he's been doing, the capacity building he's been doing with not just the AFA with Ebony Del York. That is why it's even worse for me as a president of AMP that in having all these things done, the films that could go and move us forward, do you understand, are being frustrated out. You actually said that. Maybe I should even get the governor to follow up on one of the letters to support us. You know what I mean? Because really, all that we can do right now is lobby to make sure that the Oscars understand. And we do have a listening governor in Lagos State. I'm not saying that because he's supporting AMAA, but with the training, it's been hands-on. And, you know, I sent him a video that the kids did, and he said to me, I don't believe they. So I was surprised he actually watched it. You know, you send things to people, and you think, okay, I'm just sending it. But I was surprised he actually commented on it. So we look forward to seeing him at the AMAs, but we also look forward to seeing you guys come in.
I'll be there.
Yes, we will definitely. It sounds like
No
we should
problem.
leave it on that promising note. And of course, thank you so very much, Ma'am Peace Anyam Osigwe, for joining us this morning. Looking forward to all the exciting stuff coming ahead.